Welcome to the Bowel Chronicles, where we dive deep into the world of bowel health. I'm your host, Nikki Kilpatrick, and on this podcast we have raw and candid conversations with individuals facing various bowel conditions and illnesses. Through personal stories and shared experiences, we illuminate resilience and courage in the face of adversity. Be reminded that each story is personal and unique. These conversations are not to be taken as medical advice or to replace guidance from a doctor or healthcare provider. Our aim is to inspire and empower through these amazing stories, amplifying voices often unheard. So join us as we embark on this journey together. Sit back, listen, and be inspired. Enjoy the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bowel Chronicles. I'm your host, Nikki Kilpatrick, and today we're speaking to Jamie, who's just 26 years young, from London. Welcome, Jamie. It's good to have you here today to share some of your story with us.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, it's good to actually get talking face to face. I know we've been messaging backwards and forwards. And you've recently undergone full permanent stoma surgery, with what we call a Barbie butt or a KED butt in the bowel community. And basically that means you've had all of your large bowel pretty much removed, your rectal stump and been stitched up, and you've got the perfect butt now. Pretty much.
That's it.
With your permanent ileostomy. Is it?
You lost to me, yes, that's right.
So you have a stoma then into your small intestine. Jamie, take us back. Your story is one of being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
Yeah,
26 now, and it was only 10 years ago that you were diagnosed. So teenager, 16.
yeah, 16,
Um,
quite young, yeah.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about how did you end up being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis? What was happening?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I was in my last year of high school doing GCSEs, and
Mhm.
like everyone says about when you get diagnosed first, you're going to the toilet 20 times a day, you're bleeding from the back passage, very anemic, you're losing a lot of blood, losing your colour, losing a lot of weight. And I remember I was about 3 months before my GCSEs, I was in and out of hospital with medication, managers really low. They didn't know what was going on. They thought I was a bit stressed out with GCSEs.
Right.
But over the summer period, that's when I got diagnosed with UC, ulcerative colitis. And then, fast forward around a year, I think a year later on, before my 18th birthday, had a life-saving operation on a stoma bag because my last bowel just went toxic. Was in a coma for a few days, in ICU for 2 weeks. They didn't know if I was going to make it out alive or not. Um, but my mum and dad signed an agreement because I was knocked out with some medication. It didn't work out. I was in hospital for about 4 or 5 months at 17, had the stoma bag, and then a year and a half of having the bag, I wanted to have the reversal. Had the reversal when I was 19,
Mhm.
and then everything was fine with the J pouch. I was loving life, and then a year and a half after that, I had a little lump on my back passage. Didn't know what it was. I thought it was a bite. It turned out to be sepsis. And then from that year, I think 20 to 21, I had about 18 admissions with sepsis, abscess, fistulas. They didn't know what was going on. They thought it was Crohn's. They tested me up for Crohn's. It just wasn't working,
Mhm.
but it just came back negative all the time. So they couldn't understand what was going on within my body. I went through scans, medication, nothing was seemed to be working. So the last option was to give me the stoma bag back to give my body a rest.
Mhm.
Had that around, I think I was 22 when I first had, 22. So they started me on, is it that injection,
Adalimumab.
yeah, there we go. And then, I had that. Everything was working. There was no sepsis, no fistulas for a year, which was
Okay.
very good because normally I'm in hospital every month.
Mhm.
But everything was working. And then the second year, everything was working again. Then the third year, I had an abscess again. after not having it for 2.5 years, which was good, but they didn't understand why I was getting it. And then, so yeah, fast forward, back in April, I had the the permanent stoma to take the J pouch out. It just wasn't working. A couple of months before that, I was suffering with sepsis again. So I just thought, you know what, I've had a quality of life. I'm in and out of hospital. I just want to get on with my life. I'm still young. So yeah, I just went for the Barbie butt, as everyone calls it. And then yeah, just ever since I had it, I'm loving life now. So still recovering. But yeah, can't complain.
What a what a rough 10 years, and there's
Yeah.
so much in there. So let's unpick it a little bit, for our audience, reviewers, and watchers especially. Um, Diagnosed at 16 with ulcerative colitis. What was the final thing that they said? Oh yes, this is definitely ulcerative colitis. Did they do a colonoscopy?
Yeah.
Did they see inflammation and ulcers there in the bowel?
Yeah, so they done the camera up your bottom area. They found like ulcers. It was so inflamed. They said yes, it's
Yeah.
colitis. Uh, they done all the scans, the bloods, the poop sample, done that. But yeah, I think as soon as they saw my bowel inside, they was like, yeah, that's
Okay.
colitis.
And do you think was it like a long period of time for you? Was it the longest wait, or was it fairly quick from you took sick and being in hospital, before those GCSEs until you were diagnosed? I don't
Um,
think that's very long, but
uh, I I don't really know when. So when I think when I just turned 16, that's when I was having problems. I don't know why I've got UC, because in my family we've got no bowel issues, no genetics or anything like that. So I was a bit unsure. I was only 16. I couldn't be stressed out. I was a healthy young boy.
yeah. Did you know
Uh,
what it was? Did you understand
Um,
what
I
it
did.
was?
I didn't understand it properly, and it was only like when I was 17, 18, I sort of understood watching videos of other people's on social media.
Mhm.
But yeah, I couldn't get my head around it. I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was like a tummy bug. Me being young and not
Yeah.
having that.
What was that like being at school, 16 years of age, here you're diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and as you said,
Yeah,
going to the toilet typically 20 plus times a day.
yeah. It was.
As a young guy,
Yeah, it was really. I don't know how to say it. It was just so hard to, because when you're young, you feel embarrassed, you feel awkward, you don't know how to talk about it. You make up like excuses. You can't go out. You can't. Oh, you have to go. You have to go here, but you actually are going to the toilet,
Mhm.
the furthest away toilet from everyone else. Because you're in a lot of pain as well, especially in your stomach area. It felt like cramps all the time when I was going to the toilet. So a lot of the times I just want to be alone. I didn't want to be around with other people. There was times where I was playing football as well. There's a lot of times where I was just taking painkillers just to play football, and going to school as well, taking painkillers all the time at 16. So yeah, it was really difficult.
Mhm.
But I just got on with it, I think, which I shouldn't have done. I think I didn't tell my mum. I should have told my mum sooner. I think I was probably struggling for the first 2 months. I just thought it was tummy bug or something like eating, or just I was gross. But I don't know why I thought that at 16. But yeah, so I think after 2 months, I told my mum and then made an appointment, and that's when they done my blood. They said, yeah, you're losing a lot of weight, you're losing blood, your iron's really low. So that's when they done the scan, and yeah, it's just said you got colitis at 16.
Okay. So obviously they started you on some form of treatment for ulcerative colitis, and then that led you to having your first stoma surgery at 17. As you said, it was life-saving surgery. You were so poorly in hospital, and it was like, we need to operate now. Really, you had no
Yeah.
choice. So the idea of having a stoma, really, had it ever been talked about? Had it been suggested? Did you know what a stoma was?
No, it's just, this is so hard to, because I couldn't remember most of it because I was so knocked out
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
was on so many medication, and I was just told by my parents what happened. So from I went into hospital with concussion. Something happened at football, got knocked down in a football game, and then woke up in the hospital bed. And then I wasn't. My bloods were going up and down. My body was not reacting to the medication, and they said that I have to stay in for a few days. Then that's when the team from St Mark's at my hospital had to calm down and see what was going on. My body was not wasn't reacting in a way it should be, and then I was losing a lot of blood. I was going to the toilet, like leaking out of my back passage unexpectedly. They tried this medication through the drip. It didn't work. I woke up the next day swollen, double the size, all red, sweaty. My mum always comes in the morning before work. She'll just drop off like Cocoa Pops, a cup of tea in the morning, bottle of water. And then, yes, she had to press the bell. So I remember she was just screaming about what she saw. Nurses had to come in. I remember they, they had to put I was so dehydrated to the point where I was just losing colour straight away. So I had to put me on the drip, squeeze in the drip as well. And I remember the doctors coming in and had put me on some medication. It just didn't work. At this point, I was knocked out, and I just remember waking up, seeing my doctor, and then these four other higher up department just there with my parents. I could see my parents crying, and then they got this form in their hand, and they said, "Look, you have to sign it because if you don't sign it, he ain't gonna make it." So then that's when I just sort of went. I was in and out of sleep that day, and then I remember didn't know nothing about stoma. Nothing was mentioned to me about stoma until I woke up. I think 3 days later with a stoma. So yeah, everything was so new to me. All I knew was UC at the time, or going to the toilet, trying this medication, taking 10 tablets a day, wasn't working. So yeah.
What was your initial reaction? I know you had
Yeah, I
obviously
think
you were so poorly, but what was your initial reaction to being told you
I
now have?
think it's just the first reaction. I just broke down. I remember I woke up in ICU, just broke down. I just didn't. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't. I don't think I looked down the next 4 or 5 days. I just couldn't physically look at it. I was really in a really bad place at the time, especially so young, because I didn't know what stoma was. I didn't know what mental health was at a young age. But yeah, it was so it was really hard for me to go through because I didn't expect it so young.
Mhm.
I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't have any understanding of why it happened to me when I was living a healthy life. I was just questioning why me, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So were there thoughts of, oh my goodness, this is gross, this is for old people, or like,
I was just thinking, why me? Why me? I'm young, I'm healthy, I
yeah,
haven't done nothing bad. I was just questioning why, just why,
yeah,
you know.
okay. And I know you went on to have reversal surgery, 2 years later. How did you cope whenever it came around to, leaving hospital eventually and being strong enough to get home and adapting to life with a stoma?
Is that
What
the first stoma bag?
was the first one? Yeah, what was it like?
So I was in hospital for 4 to 5 months. So I had my private ward for the first 3 months. And when I went, I was able to get up. So I was bedbound for the first 3 months. I was able to get up, go for, they got like a tea and coffee room. I
Mhm.
was able to go there. And I just remember this gentleman just speaking to me about soma. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I just broke down. And he just put his arm around me. He said, yeah, I got it. He said, but it's the quality of life I got. And he was talking to me about it. I remember him just talking to me. I didn't meet him before. It was just first time out of my bed for the first 3 months. And we were just talking about it. And he just said, you've got nothing to worry about. He said, you will look back at it and you'll laugh about it. But he said, this is probably the best thing that's happened. He said, the more people spoke to about it, with the nurses, the doctors, they said it's the best thing. So slowly, when I was coming every week, was getting closer to being going home and stuff with the stoma bag at the start. It was getting easy, but in the back of my head, I was just still, why? Why me? Why is this happening to me? I was feeling really low, really depressed. I couldn't really talk about it to my friends or my family. I was so young, I didn't know how to say it, what to say how I'm feeling. I think when you're so young, you don't know what mental health is, especially a young lad who just doesn't know what a
Mhm.
stoma is, really.
Yeah. Well, you seem to just, you had an okay life, a normal teenage life, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden this diagnosis just comes out of nowhere.
yeah,
As you say, you were playing sports and everything, and then all of a sudden things change.
yeah.
So, your mental health has been great. You've never had any issues. There's never been any moments of having to take stock of actually what are my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions.
Mm,
Um, and that's really, really, really difficult, especially, young male hormones and the age you're at, the time of life that you're in school doing GCSEs and whatnot. Is really, really difficult. Did they ever offer you counselling or to speak to someone?
No, when I first had the stoma bag, there was no like mental support, no mental like uh, no counselling, nothing. But that's why I was a bit looking back at it now. I was like, I should have got that straight away, especially so young.
Hmm.
Um, I think that should be a priority, especially with people first having stoma bag, or even just a normal surgery. I think everyone should get that sort of counselling
Hmm.
therapy after, because you don't know how you're gonna feel. That you're gonna have some
Yeah.
good days, you're gonna have some really bad days. It's all part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Medical trauma, so many people suffer with it because of the
Mm.
amount of hospitalisations, the way they've been treated. Maybe some people have been gaslit, or like yourself, been very, very poorly with sepsis so many times.
Mm.
And hospital is your second home, sadly.
Yeah, it is.
Leave you with some very serious trauma, and how it impacts the rest of your life and your treatment and what you do for yourself as well. Was there any other like signposting to um, social media, to I don't know, the Ileostomy Association, Colostomy UK, anything like that you were
uh,
told about, or
I think the stoma nurse did mention it before, but I think I was too embarrassed to talk about it so young. Um, I didn't want to talk about stoma or stoma bags or ileostomy, nothing like that. So young. Um, I think I just felt really embarrassed. I couldn't look at myself in a way to be happy. But yeah, I think over the years now I can understand. I think you need to love yourself first in order for you for like happiness. So that for me it's just whatever happens, just you always got yourself. And in the day, you got to make yourself a priority. So if I could have got the help and the support from the early, so young, then yeah, I think it would be a different story.
yeah.
Maybe less of a struggle, they say.
Mhm, mhm, yeah. What let's talk about the reversal then. So at what point did you know, whenever you kind of came around from surgery, that this was a reversible surgery? Or like how did that lead up to your reversal?
I think
The J patch.
for the J pack, so I was so adamant to have it. There was no questions about it. There was no what ifs. It was no, just do it sort of thing. Every time I had a appointment with my consultant, it will always be, when can I have the surgery? When can you do it? It was no, the side effects, what can go wrong. I said, no, just do it. I think I just couldn't, the way I was thinking, I just couldn't carry on with life with a stoma bag.
Mhm,
The way to do it is just take the bag off and have the J pouch. That's how I was thinking so early on. But yeah, when I had it, it was a massive, like a relief off my shoulders, if you like. I just felt, wow, I can. go to the toilet normally, try and live like a normal young boy, um, and just move on with life. But yeah, everything was fine for that year and a half. I was able to do things, go back to work, go back to college at the time, do my sports, go to the gym, go running. I was able to live a normal young boy life, and then that's when it started to go downhill with the sepsis.
Okay. So it wasn't that you had a reversal, but your J pouch created. You had a reversal, and then you had your J pouch created.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you took sepsis then. That's the first abscess.
first
Um,
sepsis. Yeah,
okay. And as you said, that normally isn't someone who presents with Crohn's.
yeah,
It's not normally something that happens with someone with ulcerative colitis. Have they ever mentioned ulcerative colitis Crohn's or Crohn's colitis?
yeah. They said my my case is very unique. You're not. They say you're on the spectrum of Crohn's and colitis,
Mhm.
which is very unknown because no one with UC has sepsis. It's normally people with Crohn's. So
Mhm.
that's why I was just thinking, how, like, why, how can it happen to someone with colitis? I was doing a bit of research, but there was nothing supporting why or basically answering my question. So that's why I was just thinking, have I got Crohn's then? But then every time they tested it, it's been ruled out. So that's why I
Yeah,
was thinking, I don't know why really.
I've interviewed quite a few people with the same story, and those, when I get their guest form in, it's ulcerative colitis, but then they talk about sepsis, and then they mention actually their surgeon then says, "Oh, you might actually be someone who has Crohn's colitis um, because of the sepsis," which is very interesting to hear it from so many people. You know.
Yeah.
Um, so when it came to having the J pouch surgery, did you understand what that J pouch surgery was? And maybe you can explain in your own words for our audience what the J pouch exactly is.
Yeah. The J bags is made of your small bowel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have a large bowel, so they had to make use a chunk of your small bowel to make. How do I? It's like how do you say it? It's like a fake little bag. And that's what the way I say it, it's a fake little bag inside of you
Mm-hmm.
to be able to go to the toilet normally to do the number twos.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I say it to people. Basically, not having a bag on the outside, just basically having a bag inside,
Yeah.
but using your small bowel in order for me to go to the toilet normally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I say it, so people understand, like simple terms, whereas we can just talk about it so easily.
Yeah.
But
Um, it it worked then. It was
yeah,
fine for a
yeah,
year.
yeah, it worked. It worked for I think it worked for 15 months, a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was fine. I didn't have any problems. Everything was healing really good for the first 2 months. I
Mm-hmm.
was able to go back to college slowly, go back to normal life after 4 or 5 months. So yeah, I was really enjoying life. And then after a year of everything being fine, I had a bit of pain there, but nothing dramatic. But then 3 months later, that's when they found I had an abscess on my lower passage. It was sepsis, and that's when it went downhill. So,
When you had the J pouch, do you mean what was your bowel motions like?
what was my sorry?
What was your bowel motions like? Was it,
Um,
go once a day? Did you go 5 or 6 times a
it
day?
was. It depends what I had during the day and stuff. So normally be between 2 to 3 times a day. It
Okay.
was I felt it was quite normal at the time.
Yeah. I know
Uh,
there are a lot of people with a J pouch say that, as time goes on, it kind of gets more and more the same as it was before J pouch
yeah,
surgery, maybe being on the toilet 10 plus times a day, that they would be back on the toilet because that large bowel has been taken away. It's a shorter passageway. Obviously,
yeah.
it doesn't take very long for it to go through.
Both it comes out, you know.
Yeah. So I just was
Yeah,
interested in hearing, what was your story? But 2 or 3
yeah. It's my
was normal.
yeah. So it was. I wasn't eating. a lot at the time where I had the surgery, so I was eating smaller portions
Mhm.
to basically help the digestion, because of like you said, the small bowel is smaller than the large bowel, which takes time to digest and longer to come out.
Mhm.
So I was eating smaller meals. So every time I ate a meal, I take loperamide before to slow it down, and like thicker food like mashed potato, rice, like stodgy food, just to slow it down.
Yeah.
But after things were like healing, I was getting back to normal. That's when I started introducing like takeaway, spicy foods.
Mhm.
That's when I know, yeah, nope, nope, nope. I know where my limit is because I could go to I could have something half an hour before, but now I'm on the toilet straight away.
Right. So you were really, really restricted then with the J pouch and what you.
Yeah, I was in like spicy food as well. If I take loperamide, I have maybe a glass of water before. It will just come out quicker, and it will become very liquid as well.
Mhm.
So it didn't help. Like when they say about porridge type, that's what you need, like the consistency.
Mhm.
It wasn't like that on certain foods, so that's when I was like, okay, this is causing me a bit irritation on the bottom area. I need to be
Yeah.
careful. So I was applying Sudocrem because it was a bit red and sore.
Yeah.
I got told by the pouch nurse at my hospital. She said if you use Sudocrem, it could heal the inside of your bottom area, which
Mhm.
helped massively.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I'll just stick to like a clean diet. I had like the odd cheat meal here and there, but that was good.
Still not really ideal for someone who's just like 20, 21, to be living life playing nappy rash cream
Yeah,
and, really having to watch what you eat, and drink. Um, yeah, absolutely sucked. So this abscess comes back,
yep,
and that year, did you say you had like 18 admissions then to the hospital that year?
yeah. I had 18 admissions in 1 year. I think I went to hospital, but in 1 month, 5 times. I had sepsis 5 times in 1 month. I don't know why. Looking back at it, you can have a laugh about it because it was. I know I shouldn't laugh at it because it was serious, but I think it's all part of the journey, they say. But yeah, I had 18 admissions in 1 year on sepsis, fistulas, abscess. Um, I don't know why or how. Like I said from the start, it just didn't click.
You mentioned there abscesses and fistulas. Was there a fistula then between your J pouch and?
There was nothing wrong with my J pouch. Thankfully, nothing going on inside. It was the bottom area on
Okay,
my bottom. There was just an abscess coming
okay, so
from the outside. So there'll be times I couldn't sit down properly, or I couldn't. I just feel, when you feel really weak within yourself.
Mhm.
I just couldn't get out of bed, or my energy is really low. I was just thinking, this is not normal. I have my bloods done. My white blood cells is very high.
Mhm.
That's when it's alarm bells. I'm sweating a lot.
Here we go again.
Yeah, here we go. Back to the second home. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so yeah.
that must be so heartbreaking, like for your parents to watch.
Yeah, I remember I had to be. I was in and out of work. I think I just started work a new job. I had to quit after 2 weeks because I was going in and out of hospital with sepsis,
Mhm.
and I just had to. I think I just had handed my notice that year. I couldn't. It was a really difficult year because I couldn't get on with life in that way. I couldn't focus on my studies, my work life, my normal life, personal life. It was literally in and out of sepsis, and it was just a really difficult year, I think. I think that was when I was about 21, 22.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to think about what I was supposed to do. So I think I stayed self-employed that year,
Mhm.
um, and just because I was in and out of hospital, I didn't know what was happening.
At the end of the day, you have to make yourself a priority, and it's like
Yeah,
it's not ideal whenever you've just accepted a job or you're in a job
yeah,
and you you can't really be reliable with a chronic illness, and especially with sepsis, the way it was presented in your body,
Yeah.
yeah, from one day to the next, it's a
It was
lottery.
really aggressive. Yeah, it was so aggressive. The sepsis, it was it was just attacking my body from all over the bottom area. They had to do like the cetons. They had to leave it open to allow it like the discharge from the inside to come out. So I had to have open wounds on my bottom area. I think I had about five open wounds on my bottom with cetons inside,
Yeah.
following the track and from the inside of where the track is.
Mhm.
So yeah, I had to wear like nappies, if you like. So yeah, it's probably the first time I'm actually talking about it so openly, because all my friends didn't know about it. Only my close ones, my family knew about it. So I had to wear nappies. Had to do that for a few years, until I had the surgery back in April to have the permanent stoma. So yeah.
What does that do for a young guy? In your early
Um,
20s, like.
yes, it was a bit. I couldn't. I couldn't get on with the way how I was feeling. That's when I slowly talk about how I was feeling. Got counselling, got therapy. I was able to talk about it, with a counsellor. I couldn't talk to people that I knew
Mhm.
because of how they would look at me from a third person. So yeah,
How you perceived they would look at you.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they're gonna
oh,
think.
that's Jamie. Oh, he's got this, he's got that. I think I was overthinking a lot with how I was going through at the time. Especially when a nappy. You don't see 21 or 22-year-olds wearing a nappy. Uh, so I had to
Did
be
you,
careful.
did you apply for that counselling yourself, or was that?
Yeah, so I went for counselling. I think I was quite young, so I was going through a relationship at the time. I was going through a really bad time, broke up, and then that's when counsellor said, "What's going on?" That's when I just broke down to tears, and I just talk about my health mainly, about everything I was going through, and she said, "You've been suffering for a very, very long time.
Mm.
Just been putting up a brave face, smiling, the typical Jamie that you've been smiling, have a joke." But she said, "You suffered so long since you were so young. Like you never put your sat down and be like, what's going on, sort of thing." So I think that's when I sort of understood about how I was feeling and started putting myself first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a difficult year, but it got better after I was speaking to the right people about it, my family about it, close friends of mine. So yeah,
Mm. Well done you for seeking the help and going through that,
thank
because
you.
you were vulnerable enough without having
Mm,
to do that. But as you said, it's been very, very helpful for you. Without going into the details of your relationship or anything there, was one of the questions I was going to ask you. As a young guy, what's that like to have a relationship, or have there been relationships throughout the time that you have had your stoma, your J pouch reversals
yeah.
and whatnot?
Um,
Were you able to hold on a relationship? Like
yeah,
mentally, how did you feel?
yeah. I think when I first had the stone back, I was in a relationship before. It was like like a high school.
Mm.
Um, Lucky enough, one of her family members, he's got a stoma bag himself, so she sort of understood what
Mhm.
it was.
Mhm.
I didn't. But yeah, she was really good. I couldn't doubt anything she'd done.
Mhm.
But after we broke up, going through the sepsis and stuff like that, that's when it was taking a massive toll on me.
Mhm.
Once I started getting the help, that's when I was realizing, okay, this is getting better. I was able to
Mhm.
talk about it with a few family, friends, even work. I was able to talk about what was going on with, like, I got a stone bag again. I was able to go dating here and there. I was able to have a chat about it. I was able to be open
Mhm.
and be like, this is what I got, but having that doubt back in my head as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, I think it was difficult. I think when I got into the dating world, it was really hard to see because you look at me, you'll be like, oh, he looks young, normal lad, but you don't
Mhm.
know what's going on behind the scene. So I was the sort of person who would always overthink, compare myself to other guys. Oh, he ain't got a bag, he ain't got a bag, he ain't running nappy, he ain't got UC. So I was always doubting myself in a way, body image, self-confidence. After I was accepting for who I was, that's when things were getting better within myself.
Yeah. And I think, speaking to majority of people, self-acceptance is the key, is the secret.
Yeah,
I think whenever you can, look at your body, see a stoma or whatever, and go, this has saved my life. I'm still here because
yeah,
this has actually saved my life.
yeah,
My body may look different, but people have to love and accept me the way I love and accept me, because I'm here to tell the story, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. But getting to that point, and even if it even is a point, I mean, I would say I'm accepting of my stoma, but there are times when I just look down and go, "Ugh,
yeah,
forever, mate. This is I'm never going to have a completely flat stomach again. This I look completely different now." But I think for those that really, really struggle and have, like, a bit like yourself, no idea that you're even going to have a stoma and wake up with it. And even if you're told and you've got a few weeks or months to get your head around it, it's still a huge shock to the system to get to a stage where you're fully accepting of it. If
yeah.
there's such that a place.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think you can get to a place. I think it's a part of the journey. You're gonna have some good days. You're gonna have some bad days. It's just how you, as a person within yourself, go about it. I think that's what I sort of realised over the last couple of years is about what can I do, what can I control.
Mhm.
I gotta accept me for who I am. If people don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
What was how I feel, what I want to do with myself. I think that's the most important. I think after going through what you go through, I think you don't seem to care what other people think. I think once you start to love yourself and you start to accept for who you are, you in a day you got yourself, and that's the main thing. This has given me a second life. It's given me a new chapter to start again. So the way I see it is just I got basically a new pair of body to go at life again. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, totally. A stoma does not define you in any way.
nah, it's made you stronger for sure. It does make you.
Yeah.
It's made you. For myself, it's made me someone I didn't know what I had before. Resilience. Didn't know I was mentally strong to go through what I did. I was really brave to go through what I did, and also to go through what I did so young, but not talk about it, but still get on with life, still smile, still have a joke with my family and friends. I was able to do that, but suffering at the same time. So yeah, I sometimes I'm a bit hard on myself, but I've got to look back and basically procrastinate myself sometimes.
Mhm. Um, I was going to ask you to do anything different, but we'll come back to that. So we'll just pin that one for now. um, so 3 months ago, you had permanent stoma surgery, with your Barbie butt. Um, Obviously you've been septic still again with the abscesses, and in between times they created. So you had your J pouch. They created a temporary stoma to kind of give the J pouch a bit of a break. Is that right?
Yeah, so they gave me from the drape outs. I had the drape out inside of me at the time, but it was unattached.
Hmm.
So it was attached, but it wasn't connected to I think the bottom area.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, it was connected to the bottom area, and they gave me the stoma bag back.
Hmm.
So I wasn't able to do number two through the drape outs, but I was
Yeah.
producing like liquid, um, like mucus and stuff. But I had a stoma bag, and that's when they gave me the little break from the drape outs.
Right. And how long then did you have that temporary stoma?
Oh, I would have had that from the age of 22 till April.
Right.
Um, they started me on the medication.
Hmm.
It was fine for a year, no sepsis. And then the second year, everything was fine, but it was just, I think when I was about 24, I had sepsis coming back and forward
Okay.
once every like couple of months. It wasn't like every month, it was once every 3-4 months. So yeah, they gave me, I was still on those medication. The one you take, one injection every 6 weeks, I think.
Right. Okay.
Everything was fine, but then it was just the sepsis keeps coming back. So my consultant said to me at the time was, in order for you to go back to J-Pouch, you need to have no sepsis. It's simple as that, because we can't put your body under stress again, especially the year you had with sepsis and the abscess. And we can't keep cutting your small bowel away because you only got a small bowel. So he was putting that back in my head. So I was just thinking every year, every month's going past and there was a problem. I was just, you know what, this is not the quality of life I need. 23, 24, 25, I'm wearing a nappy. I'm going through to the toilet 10, 20 times before. I got a stone bag, it's not causing me problems. I'm having sepsis because of these, the tracks, they, from my bottom area. Why not just do the permanent stoma? And I think it was probably last Christmas, I said to myself, you know what, that's it. I think it was start of 2025. I want to start the year. I had a consultant appointment in last June, and I just said to him, look, I just want my life back. Just do it. Permanent stoma. He looked at me, he was like, really? Because I was the only one. I want the bag off. I want the J pouts. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, I just want my life back. I said, I'm happy with my stoma bag. I'm used to it. I know what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I just want my life back. I just want to be able to crack on with life, career, everything. I just want to be a normal with a bag. And then that's when they done the reversal in April.
Okay. So from you've had your reversal, what has it been like?
It's been
Reversal,
not,
taking
yeah,
the parts away, creating the permanent stoma,
yeah.
and did they just use the stoma that was already there?
No, so they had to change, they had to move the stoma. I don't know what they said. They had to cut a new stoma
Okay.
because it was connected to J pouts on the end side.
Right. Okay.
So they take that away. They had to do the big cut all the way down to my stomach. Um, and yeah, they had to sort out. They wanted to have a look the inside of my stomach to find out, am I getting sepsis down below where my bottom area is. They want to do checks. Still waiting to hear about what's going on because they're taking it to the lab to basically see what is the cause of this. But ever since the surgery, it's just been, I'm just loving life now. Recovering the first 3 months been really good. Due to go back to work, hopefully end of August.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, been recovering, getting physio work, swimming, running. I got my half marathon in October, which is a bit too soon. So I've got to get ready for that. And then yeah, just really happy within myself. I got myself prepared for this back in April, mentally and physically. But yeah, I'm in a good place now. Then well I was
Happy.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm really happy at the moment.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that there's light at the end of that tunnel.
But
You
it's
know,
always like, yeah.
what an awful, what a horrific 10 years to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
So that question we had pinned was, would you do anything different? So when I ask that question, I'm talking about in the first stage where you had your first stoma, if you were able to have, I don't know, sight into the future of, I'm going to go through a J patch, I'm going to have that reversal, I'm going to be septic, I'm going to have a temporary stoma.
Yeah.
Would you have ever gone through the J patch surgery,
Um,
the reversal surgery, or would have you have kept your stoma from the start?
I don't want to say I don't really live on would I go back. I always live in a moment. If I didn't have looking back at it, maybe I should have just gone straight for the bag or wait for the J pouts. But then if I didn't know, I wouldn't have gone through what I did. in order to be where I am right now. So the way I see it is, you got to go take risks in life, do things how you feel in the moment. And then if you made a mistake, that's fine. But looking back at now, I think it's all part of the journey. From 16 to 26 now, I wouldn't change anything. I think I maybe would have definitely changed by getting counselling from the first surgery. I think that to be suffering for 6 years, 7 years, without no help mentally for a guy as well, it is really, it's so difficult to say, because I don't think there's a lot of men out there who doesn't talk about it, who should talk about it.
Yeah,
How small it is, how big it is, however you think it is, just talk about it, especially not knowing what it was at the time and go through what I did, and oh, it's just a surgery, I'll be fine.
yeah.
It's
Do you
more
think
than,
it's in the way, I don't know, females just seem to be more open about things and discussing how they feel, especially then when it comes to social media, putting themselves out there and speaking about it. Whereas in the kind of the bowel community, there are less guys. Um,
yeah.
is that to do with our upbringing? Is that to do with how we're brought up in that
Um,
that's private? We don't talk about
yeah.
those things,
I
or
think as a male, I think we don't talk about our emotions, how we feel. I think that's a big thing, because you just never know what people go through
yeah,
in life. You don't know what's going behind the scene. You don't know what's going on household. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what they've been suffering as well. So when people say, "Oh, why are you going to a disabled toilet?" You don't know what's going on. So this is where there's just be a lot of awareness going on, especially around mental health with guys. Because I didn't know what it was. I just thought, I had a little surgery, it's fine, I'll get on with it. But it takes effect on you day to day, how you feel within yourself, how you look at other people, how you interact with people. But yeah, it did change my view on mental health, because mental health was nothing. When I was young, I didn't think much of it. But now look at it, 26 years old, is such a big thing. There's a massive stigma around it, especially with young men. Because I know what it's like to go through. I did go through depression. I did go through the dark moments. So yeah, it was really difficult. I got friends who suffered with it, family members who suffered with it. So yeah, I think everyone goes through it. I think it's just about talking about it, coming together with your close ones, loved ones, and just being open about it. Just get off your chest, having a chat about it over a drink, or going for a catch up with friends, or go for dinner. Just talk about how you feel. So
yeah. I think it all comes down to communication. You
yeah,
know,
that is so important. Yeah,
recognizing that in yourself and then making that first step to speak to one other person. Having
mm,
a conversation with yourself is one thing, but actually then voicing it with a close family friend or relative or partner or whatever is so important to kind of air that. And then saying this has happened and this is how I'm feeling. This is
mm,
what's going on in my head. I know I'm not supposed to think like this, but I'm thinking
yeah,
like this because, and I think then that
mm,
can add to so many other things, and just like from a relationship point of view of this is how I'm thinking about my body. These are my thoughts and my feelings about my body. It's impacting my relationship because in my head I think you think I look differently now. And it's communicating that then
yeah,
will help settle an argument or something else that can spiral out of control because it's not being communicated in the first place by you.
yeah.
Once you can get to that stage, um, it definitely helps things. And
Yeah, for sure. I think communication as well is just so big, especially if you've got a relationship as well. It does affect your relationship.
yeah,
Looking back at it now, it did affect my relationship. Wasn't able to tell how I was feeling, and that's from, I think, from so young, not having knowledge around mental health and communication. Didn't want to express my feelings, my emotions. That had a massive toll on myself as well. So I think looking back at it now, I would definitely say communication, being understanding your feelings, understanding how you feel, because your feelings is important. You need to express how you're feeling. Don't just put show up. Don't. It's all about expressing yourself, talking about it. One thing I did that did help me massively was writing it down,
Okay.
journaling, writing down how I was feeling, what was the cause of it, why, and how I feel in the next hour or so.
Hmm.
There's ways I would control how I was feeling with like exercise, going for a walk, listening to a podcast. So yeah, it did help me massively. Once I understood how I was feeling, that helped me understood why I was feeling like that.
Yeah, the process. Would writing things down have ever been something that you would have done?
Pardon?
Writing stuff down, your thoughts and feelings, would that have ever been something that you would
No,
have?
no, no. I didn't know. By writing it down, it clears most of it. What's in your head,
Yeah, yeah.
or even talking about it. I think talking with your people that you trust, people that you love, is so important, as well as writing it down.
Mhm,
If you can't talk about it, just maybe people that you're not close with, maybe writing it down, it does help massively.
mhm, mhm. Wow. Jimmy, what an inspiration. I love that how open and vulnerable you've been today for
Yeah.
a guy, after everything you've been through. It's a huge, huge
Mm,
achievement to do what you've just done. My heart breaks from a
mm.
motherly point of view of what you had to go through.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
I get emotional now. I don't
Thank you.
know how I would have gone through that 10 years watching my child suffer the way you
Yeah.
did. Nobody should have to go through that. And I know that you've had fabulous backing and support from parents, which is amazing. But even through this entire process, you still had to advocate for yourself,
Yeah.
which is something everybody, sadly, in the bowel community has to do, and those that suffer with chronic illness. But it's of utmost importance that we actually always advocate for ourselves and make ourselves that priority, because at any given time, you know, it could be a Jamie lying in the bed with their parents having to sign that form of like, you need to do this because he may not make it.
Yeah.
So it's really important. I just want to say to our audience that we're not professionals. What we've shared here today is our own experiences. If there's anything that resonates with you today, and you're like, oh my goodness, I am actually going through what that guy's been going through or went through, or you're passing blood and you're like, oh, maybe I should go and get help, go and get the professional help that you need. Because the longer you leave these things, the worse it gets, and you're putting your own health at risk for the longer that you leave it. So do go and get checked out and get the help that you deserve. Jamie, you've started sharing your bits of your journey to social media,
Yeah.
um, about your surgery, which is absolutely awesome, and you're all for men's mental health. Do you plan on sharing more on your social media, um, or what is the plan? Do you have?
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna share. I think just doing a post a couple of weeks ago, I had so many messages through young guys, 16-year-olds saying I got this, I'm suffering with this, and it's really helped a lot of young men and women, especially with stoma bags and people doesn't know what to do or how they feel within themselves. There's a lot of people who has it. He doesn't talk about it. I think it's to try and break the stigma, spread awareness, and just say there's always light in the tunnel. Things do get better. It might be tough right now, but you got to
Would
look
you,
at that.
looking at it now, whenever you were 16, would you have, well, going back 10 years, I think in the last 10 years, social media has just gone up the ways.
Yeah.
Would social media have been something that you looked at, to find out about ulcerative colitis or stoma bags? Or do you think things have just changed in the last number of years to where we
I
are?
think social media's changed massively. I didn't really have this when I was at 16, 17, 18. Um, if I was 16 now and had social media, I think this would have helped me massively. Looking at people's stories, podcasts, videos, just learning other people's journey or what can they do or what can she recommend of medication wise or what diet can I follow or just take bits of other people. I think that could help with a lot of people. I think especially talking about it, it does help mentally, physically, knowing what medication you could take, knowing what exercise you can do after recovery. But yeah, I think social media is such a big platform where you can communicate with people who go through it or who are suffering, who doesn't know if they should go for the bag or just go for the J pouch. I think it's so key to talk about for those who go through it, especially.
Yeah. Is it something that you have found helpful over the last number of months or year
Yeah.
or so?
Yes, definitely. I think being able to talk about it with people who go through similar experience about permanent stomas, Barbie butt. I was really a bit conscious about the Barbie butt. I didn't know what it was going to be like. The amount of people that told me about it is literally the best thing. We'll have a joke about it, but it's literally the best thing about it. Permanent stomas, I said, 'cause I know what it's like having a stoma myself. Third time having it. So I think it's so easy to get to talk to people about it in order to understand how you're feeling as well at the same time. Especially social media, you see a lot of people promoting what they got, Crohn's, colitis, IBS. They're talking about it so freely, which is helping other people who are maybe not so confident to talk about it,
Yeah.
understanding that, okay, it will get better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us today. It's been absolutely incredible. Like I said, hats off to you. You've just, you've smashed it now, getting your Barbie butt, and things can only but get better for you. So I'm wishing you an amazing 10 years, and just every moment that you have now, claw back those moments that were previously taken from you, and just take life and everything that's there for you right now. Guys, do go over Jamie's social media handle will be tagged below. Do go over, give him a follow. If you've got any questions, feel free to ping him a message. If not, ping myself a message, and we will try and get you answers to those questions. But again, Jamie, thank you so much for taking
Thanks
the
for having me, Nikki.
time.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. Guys, that is it from us today. Do come back to join us next week for another episode. But from both Jamie and myself, it's over and out.